Ollie, a few days off. How are you feeling and you ready to go?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling really excited for the back half of the year. Probably in the past few years, the buys come a little bit later in the sort of buy period for us, but this year I think it gave us a good opportunity to reset, assess where things are at and look forward to the second half of the season.
Have you done anything as a group in particular, like to reset?
In terms of...
Like over the buy period, have any like bonding thing or anything like that?
Not really. I think it's a chance for the boys to get home, back to their home state or wherever they want to get to. I think we had 4 days off from Monday to Thursday, and then we came back in as a group Friday and were able to train over those couple of days. So I think more than anything, it gives us an opportunity to get a freshen up away from the club. We like to think we do a lot of things together as a group throughout the season when we're here. So I think it's just a good chance to get away and see family who might be in a state. We are a pretty heavy interstate team. We've got a lot of guys from a lot of different states, so it's a good opportunity to get home.
You mentioned the buy coming a bit earlier this year. Do you think that's a good thing, given that it's probably not been the start to the season you were hoping for, being able to reset at this point of the year rather than continuing for another couple of weeks?
Yeah, possibly. I guess we probably won't know until a couple of months into it to see how things have played out. In terms of injury, I think we get a few guys back this week, so in terms of that, it's come at a really good time. I think we've got 4 guys ready to return, and they probably would have missed an extra game if we hadn't had the bye at this stage. So in regards to injury, I think it's come at a good time.
It's a pretty big task to climb back into the finals race where things stand. Has that been discussed, the magnitude of what you need to do in the back half of the season?
Probably haven't discussed the outcome too much. We've discussed what probably hasn't gone right the first half of the year and how we can correct that and how we can get on a winning run. I think in the past few years we've been able to string 6, 7 multiple games together where we're winning, and we've got full confidence that we can do that. But there's some things we need to tidy up, and we've been able to reassess them and see where that's gone wrong and try to correct that.
I think the last quarters have been an issue. I don't think you've won one this year. Is that a physical thing, running out of game? Is it a mental thing? What do you chalk that up to?
Yeah, I don't think it's a physical thing. It possibly is a mental thing. Coming down to defence and contest, I certainly think we're as fit as we can be, and I think majority of the AFL teams are similar, physical levels. I think it's above the shoulders where it counts, and we might have not been on our best game in those last quarters where we've had lapses and let teams get a run on in momentum, which has been proved hard to stop at times.
How deep have you gone into the game plan and why it hasn't been working the way you want it to so far this year?
We've had a good look, particularly after the Freo game. We've treated it as a bit of a mid-season review, seeing where things have gone wrong and where we've got to make corrections to get back to our best. So we've certainly identified a few areas, and we'll be looking to work on them.
Are they easy fixes, or are they something you can address and fix?
Yeah, certainly. I don't think they're wholesale changes to our game plan. They're more individual fixes we have to do ourselves to be in games and mentally play games out, whether that's in the contest or defensively be a little bit quicker. So they're not major things, but when you don't have majority of the group doing it, it adds up pretty quick.
Touch on injuries, sort of Jason Horne-Francis out there. How close he is he a lot to come back in, and how huge would that inclusion be?
Yeah, he'd be huge. I think he's probably a little bit less likely than the other guys, but I think Sav, Faz, Josh Sin, someone else that I can't remember right now, but Darcy, who I think's looking good to clear the protocol. So I think Hornet's a little bit less likely than them, but in saying that, you want to make sure his hammy's good because he's a powerful player and you don't want to go on again.
Well, there's been so much talk about succession plans. Just from your point of view, has anything changed from that space, from the senior players' point of view?
Not at all, no. Since the announcement back early in the year, obviously Ken and Kari and CD announced it to the group, and apart from that day, moving forward, nothing's changed. So Ken's our coach. He will be for the rest of the year, and I know he's got a lot of energy and enthusiasm for the job, and we'll be there for him.
Mate, what can you tell us about your heart? How's it going, and what does the future look like?
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Look, I had as I said, a procedure back in December, and there was a 1% likeliness that it wouldn't work, and unfortunately, I'm in the 1% that it hasn't worked. So we've gone back to a bit of an intervention plan that we had previous 2 years to manage it up and to that operation, and that's working well so far. And we'll reassess at the end of the season to see if we do it again and try a surgical operation.
So would it be the same surgery if you do go down that route?
Yeah, it would probably be exactly the same. So as I said, there's a 99% success rate usually, and unfortunately I was in the 1%. So bad luck, I guess.
Yeah, can you speak to that? I don't want to make light of it, but that seems, the odds are kind of with you. What's your reaction when you see that you're in that 1%?
Yeah, no, it was frustrating, but look, at the end of the day, it luckily for me, it's not life-threatening, and it's something that costs me a game of footy, and I have to get subbed out of a game of footy. So I'm in a really fortunate position. I've got, the best cardiologists and doctors around me at the footy club, and they've talked me through everything. So at the moment, it's just this plan that has previously worked. I've never had an episode when we're using this drug intervention, and once the season ends, we'll assess if I need the procedure again.
You added 3 guys in the mid-season draft. What have been your early kind of thoughts of them? Early.
Yeah, look, we've had limited time with them. They got here Friday and we trained with them Saturday, but from that limited time, I think they can be really good. Obviously, we've seen really good senior SANFL footballers, and I think they've all got the potential to take that next step to the AFL. So I think they'll add a lot to our group, and looking forward to seeing them gel and join in with everything.
Has Harry Round got a nickname yet amongst the guys?
Well, I didn't know him, but I saw on TikTok that he's got a couple, Rambo and Wemby, I think he said. So I don't think one's stuck. It's probably a bit early, but I think I'll be trying to go Wemby.
Mate, how determined are you to send off Kenny on the right note, given the relationship, the history of everything, and to send him off in the right way?
Yeah, incredibly important to us as a footy group. He's done so much for our team, particularly when he took over in a really vulnerable position for the club. The club put a lot of faith in him, and he put a lot of faith in the people around him to get us to this point, being a really strong, successful football club. Despite not winning a premiership, I think we've always been up there, and we've played a lot of finals footy. So Ken's done a lot for me personally as a footballer and off the field. So I'm always going to play for him, no matter when he's coaching.
Looking at the more immediate future, you've got Giants this week. What do you have to do to get back to winning ways against them? What sort of challenges do they pose to you?
Yeah, they're a really good contest side, so I think we've got to be in the contest, which unfortunately for us has been a little bit of a lapse at times during games. So we've got to put our heads down, get to work, surround the contest, really good shape, and try win the ball that way. But they're in really good hot form. They've, top 8 team, so it's a big challenge going to Canberra and trying to knock them off.